Everyone. This is my week 2 presentation. It's going to be a review of Goodnow and Taylor's theories. And I'll be talking about which one I believe holds up to the test of time and which one I believe could use some updates to deal with 21st century circumstances. So, the one I believe that could use an update is Goodnow's view on politics and administration. He was looking at maintaining a separation of essentially the administrative state and the political machine. And he espoused that one or the other should be subordinate to for them to properly function, one should be subordinate to the other. And I believe since 1900, when this first came out, we see more of an intermingling, intermesh, just this inseparable connection between politics and administration now. And part of that is driven by a strong executive authority. So back in 1900, we're closer to, this is before 2 world wars. So we didn't have as strong as an executive authority as we do now, especially post FDR. And that's where Waldo's administrative state came from. So we have a strong executive authority. And on the flip side, we have a strong administrative authority coming up because Congress cannot deal with the vast amount of legislation and complications involved in our complex society. So you have Congress delegating an authority to these administrative powers, and these administrative powers are ultimately answering to the strong executive authority. And based on that, we also have the spoil system where once we have president take power, he starts placing his own like-minded individuals in positions of high power in the administrative state. So thus the administrative state becomes merely an extension of the executive office. And that's what's changed because an example would be the Environmental Protection Agency under Obama. They were focused on expanding, in line with the Democratic platform, expanding federal power and federal protections over our nation's water supplies and increasing regulations to clean up the water supply and maintain a sustainable supply. Now, in the few short years, we've had President Trump as the president, and then he removed, Jim McCarthy left, and he has his own head of the EPA. They've gone backwards and rolled back a lot of those regulations under the Obama administration, and they've taken power away from the federal authority and tried to place it more closely aligned to the states and local municipalities, thus matching the Republican platform. So we see that it merely depends on which party gets their representative in the executive wing, and then that drives the administrative power. So we don't see so much a separation of politics and administration. It's so intermingled that we're having these changes immediately from one presidential administration to the next. Now, the one I believe that's held up to the test of time is Taylorism and scientific management. And the reason why is because now we're moving into the era of big data, robotic process automation. People are demanding increased government transparency, and as a result, we have increased employee monitoring. So big data, we have increased software infrastructure. Public administration agencies are purchasing, at least in my agency, we're purchasing these complex software systems that could give us analysis and key performance indicators on anything we wish. We want to see how many public records requests we received, how long it's taken to process a public records request, how long it takes to process our invoices, how many days at every step does a particular process take. We can look at trends, analytics, all of that. And we're using that to drive towards increased government efficiency. And then these software solutions are providing automation. Public administrators are finding that their roles are becoming more complex, more busy, more work with less staff, it seems. So we're addressing that by increasing software automation. So gone are the days of having to get out your pencil and paper and do long manual processes and taking forever. You could just click one single button, and then a system could take care of the process. One of them is a very simple example of this would be at my current position where somebody wants to send out a mass email to everyone in our agency. They just click one button, the document, a PDF gets attached to an email. The email is thus sent out to everyone within the agency. And at the same time, that document is scanned into our electronic record management keeping system, and a retention schedule is applied. And then once that retention schedule is met, documents are archived for a certain period of time and then they're destroyed. That process is also automated. Whereas in the past, everything was done by manual labor and by hand. So this is saving time, and it's moving us towards efficiency. And then we also have increased desire for government transparency. People are interested in since the 20th century, distrust of government has been on the rise. And as a result of this distrust, moving into the 21st century, we have increased desire for transparency. And because of that, government institutions are looking to avoid scandal by being more open to the public, providing more data. You have the California Public Records Act, you have Freedom of Information Act, and realizing this, they know that okay, we have to get everything, our ducks in a row, so make sure that we are as efficient as possible and managing the taxpayers' money as best as we can. Because if we do not, then we're going to be in the newspapers, and it's a political black eye for us. Now, moving into this, because of technology and transparency and all of this combined, we're moving into an era of increased employee monitoring. And this was brought up in our last class, personnel management, where is the line of employee privacy and the quest for employee efficiency. So employees have to work out in the field. They may drive company cars, they may drive a personal car, and we're finding that public agencies are placing GPS tracking monitoring systems on these vehicles to ensure that employees are making good use of public agency resources and time in that quest for efficiency. So again, this is why I believe that Taylorism holds up to the test of time. And from there, I'll wrap it up and thank you for listening. I look forward to listening to everyone else's presentations this week. Take care.